Hello and welcome back. So just before our extra long break and split of the various issues. So just before the break, the party had travelled across the Vale Flow, the kind of river that separates one side of the um, Shadow March from the other. Let's go back to Cascus.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let's say that you first of all, for the other party, let's just say that you've now had a long rest after getting across the river, and now you can send a message if you want. What would you like to send to
Oh.
Cascus?
I don't know. I wasn't thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Um,
Hank in the background.
Let me set it as set. Okay, right. I've just got it. Just send the creature a mental message. Is it actually be on the same? Oh no, it's planetary. Okay. Hey, where are you? it's an error.
Inspiring.
So yeah, you suddenly, as you're sort of waking up the next day, you get a message in your ear, Cascus.
We're coming to find you. There you go. You can reply.
Hey, multiple wires.
Cascus's response is, what took you so long? It's been 25 years.
I'm an old man now.
I mean, you don't get a reply.
Why? How could you possibly ask that question then?
I don't have a mini.
Do you really not get a reply?
One sec. No, I meant I didn't. Hanera doesn't reply.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry. Okay, yeah, fine.
I don't know. Cascus doesn't know the rules, so he's just saying something.
I turn and I say, he says he's been here for 25 years.
He was trolling you.
Make an insight.
For the record.
Oh,
You can do deception.
would it be
check as well.
religion? Okay.
You do a deception check, Cascus? Oh, actually, what's your deception DC? Sorry.
Oh wait, hold on. I've been logged out of Bardley. Of Foundry. Hold on, sorry.
This is a
What
fifth
is
level spell slot, by the way. Every time I cast a spell.
Sixth level.
Fifth level.
Oh, fifth level. Oh,
Just saying.
You guys must really love him.
Maybe in your next message, let him know. I don't have it for me.
Yeah. All right, hold on. I'm loading now. I'm just getting the thing. Sorry.
It's all right. I realized I could have used this time to actually just look myself.
Deception, is it? So I'm a plus 24 modifier.
So 34 is your DC.
Yes. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh.
Is that you don't? Wait, your modifier is plus 24, is it?
Yeah.
So 34. Cascus is very convincing. Vance is like, that doesn't sound right. Has Naruzatar got some sort of time chamber set up in there that's he's torturing him? Oh my god, we need to get him immediately. That's horrendous. He must be going crazy. You better get a move on then.
I'm gonna send him a message saying, we came straight away. It's expensive to cast the spell. Tell us where we are. Maybe kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
Maybe try killing yourself.
Yeah,
There you go.
you
It's
better
like
get
some
respect for
toxic
that.
League of Legends. You should
You
kill
got
yourself.
25 words to reply.
I'm in the cell block in tower, chained up. Roxon says hello. Probably can't kill myself. ...
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, he's in the tower, chained up, probably can't kill himself, and there's someone called Roxon with him. Do we know them?
Ah, yes, Vance says. Roxon must be about a gazillion years old then, if there's a time chamber. What?
I realize I didn't correct that misinformation, but nobody ever told me that it was...
All right. So in the the next morning after you get that message, Cascus, there is a slamming of the cell doors and a couple of scions of Nuruzatar approach. They say, "Get up, put your hands behind your back."
A little bit hard to with these shackles on, no?
That's right. One of them steps forward and unshackles you, and then puts your hands behind your back and then shackles you again.
I know you guys have masks on, but you're not blind, are you?
It's been a long day, one of them says. They sort of grab you and drag you down the corridor, and Roxon says, "Wait, where are you taking him?" They don't reply. Not really. The stars kind of move in the sky. But yeah, other than that, there's not really going on. All right. So you are led down a spiral staircase lower into the tower until until it opens up into an absolutely huge chamber, or throne room, I guess, made of a kind of black marble of some sort, with a huge, huge throne, bigger than anything you've ever seen in your life, maybe like 40, 50 foot in size, that kind of looms over the entire room. Rows and rows of scions, dressed in their best shiny black armor. Their spikes at the back of in their eyes, kind of just pointing out the back of their helmets, sort of lined up and sort of passively watch as you're kind of dragged in front of the throne. Bear with me a sec. And emerging from the darkness, his form shifting, kind of like a mirage, made of kind of skeletal remains wrapped in tattered funeral shrouds, is a towering, faceless figure of shadow and bone. His presence is suffocating. And kind of wisps of spectral chains coil around him. The air hums with kind of crackling of magic. You hear a kind of rumbling, like it's a boom, but yet also it's a kind of a whisper, and you hear, "Kaskis Povriv, merchant of souls, thief of power. You stand before the gate of endings. You are neither dead or alive. A discord in the cycle.
um, I just keep silent, like slightly taken aback, I suppose, by the kind of magnitude of thing he's kind of saying.
I have watched your steps, felt the weight of your bargains. The Well of Ascension has granted you passage where none was meant to tread. And you have defied the natural course. But all debts are due. I am not your executioner. I hold no power to slay here, within the domain of the dead. But I, alone, may grant you passage. I sent you a pact to sign, and you did not sign it. Tell me why.
He kind of feels when he tries to speak, there's like a kind of it's almost like it's quite hard to get the grip on his throat to make his vocal cord. Well, it is nice to finally speak to you. It feels like I've been waiting. Well, I didn't say no to signing.
Oh, you're cutting. Sorry, you're cutting out.
Okay, let me do this. Did you hear what I said at the start?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I did not. Oh, just wanted to read the agreement. He kind of like winces when he says it, expecting a harsh return.
Despite what you may have heard of me, the voice speaks. As you look up at this figure on the throne looming over you, there is a sense of weakness in him, almost a overcompensation that one with so much power, so much authority would even bother to make themselves so big, so powerful. Almost like there's a insecurity in him. But yet, Null's hollow gaze pierces through you and strips you bare to your very essence. His voice is neither cruel nor kind, but there's an eerie familiarity to it, as if he's spoken to you in dreams long forgotten. He says, "Despite what you might have heard, I am not as cruel as you have heard before. I offer you forgiveness. I offer you a chance to redeem yourself. I do not exist to oppress. I exist to liberate. Liberate all from death. You are powerful. You have done things that not many mortals have dared to dream of, and you would make a fine servant. But," and he looks down at you, "there is one problem. You are already promised to another. I will give you this. Because your previous master is not willing to compromise on your soul, I will give you 3 choices. The document that you would sign pledges your fealty to me, the one true God. But if you wish, I can help you embrace the end now. You can accept the cycle, step into the spire, and your essence shall be judged. Your final fate will be decided as all mortal souls must face. For you too died like they will, and have. Alternatively, if you wish to return, I will give you a chance to free yourself. You must prove your right to exist beyond death. Beyond these gates, a harbinger awaits. If you defeat it, you may walk among the living once more. But if you fail, you are mine forever. Or the final option. Become bound. Serve the cycle. And I will return you your life. But not as you were. You will be my hand. A soul bound to my will. Hunting those who would mock death as you have. A servant of the spire.
Do you need an answer now?
Have a think. I've got nothing but time. But if you wish to ask anything of me, if you wish to ask why you are here, I will tell you.
Well, it would be quite helpful because he kind of looks left and right, just kind of around him. I do not understand why I am not how do you say a aberration to the cycle. He's trying to like put on as much confidence as he can in bravado, but like he's terrified.
Null looks down at you. His eerie skeletal form sees right through you. You can tell he's reading your fear, and despite the bravado you're putting on, he's sort of inspecting you from in front of him. He says, "When you stepped into that podium on the Well of Ascension, you started a process which must be finished. And yet, you died halfway through. You were killed. So you exist not as alive or as dead. Something in between. And so, despite the fact that you must pass through at some point, your plane is here and not your mortal realm. So, you have been bound to my servitude. Even though we have not signed a pact, by stepping onto that podium, you did the same thing. A loophole, so to speak.
And what is to stop Lady Selen just coming along, taking me back?
Lady Selen would be a fool to step in this realm.
Perhaps, but your boniness. But I am under the impression my soul means something, which is curious that you would allow me to die. You need my soul for something, otherwise you would have thrown it away without me being here. He's not making eye contact. He's like pushing his back. He knows.
Make a diplomacy check.
I'll use a legend point on it.
Alright.
Oh, that's huge. So it's a 51.
Oh shit. Noel, for a moment, maybe for the first time in his life, is speechless. He sits back in his chair and ponders for a moment, looking down at you. It's obvious he can tell that you're a petty, meaningless bug to him, and that in other circumstances he would just crush you. But you've hit on something, and you can tell. He says, "You're right. I do need you. Take him away." The scions grab you and start to drag you away.
I could play both sides. In the market, I could play all sides. I'm very good at it. I'm gonna get dragged away.
As you start to be dragged away, there's a sudden burst of heat, which distorts the air, and a rift of fire splits the darkness, and from it steps Castian, his mortal form,
Oh, you've done it now.
wreathed in embers. Castian says, "Enough of this. I will not have some lifeless husk decide what is mine." He strides forward, steps alongside you, and says, to Null, "This soul was promised, bound by contract, sealed in blood and flame. You overstep, Shade Lord. Release him to me, or I will tear him from this wretched march myself." Null's form does not move, and the shadows kind of deepen around him as all the scions kind of they look like they are wondering what just happened, as if no one has ever stepped forth in here before. Null kind of laughs to himself. He chuckles like, "Your contracts hold no power here, deceiver. The cycle proceeds and outlasts all pacts. I am not the god you bargained against. The one who would have allowed you to collect unchallenged is gone. And this soul stands outside your claim, as he stands outside of life himself." Castian says, "And yet he has not died. So where are we to stand then?" Null sits back. "Then we are at an impasse."
This is very nice and all, and I'm very much enjoying being treated like the popular girl at school. But I'm here, and I I think you could both do with me, no? We do not have to pick sides.
Castian turns to you. "Cascus, you know that we can't do that. But as the authority of infernal contracts and the contract that you signed yourself allows, in the event of tie breaks, you have the final say. Who would you rather go with?"
Is there a time limit on that clause, or could I just not give an answer, or just say I will?
"You must decide," Null says.
I'm not understanding why I have to decide. There is a lot of mumbo jumbo about choosing sides, but could I just I would very much like to make a pitch to be both of your friends.
Yeah. Null kind of like is getting really, really frustrated. He says, "All right, come with me, Castian." He just like shrinks into a mortal-sized form and then walks away with Castian. We will deliberate. Take him back to the cell." You're dragged back to the cell.
Sorry, I'm being tricky, but I don't think it's as binary as they're suggesting.
No, I mean, as far as you're aware, you have a fair bit of
And in
power
fact,
here.
and in fact, pissing them both off is like great. So it's fine. I'm happy with it.
Okay, so you're dragged back to the cell, and Broxon kind of like sits forward and he's like, "You all right? You look like you've just seen a ghost."
Well, did you ever have the pleasure to meet Noruzatar?
No. You've kind of just kept me here all this time, so.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought as a special soul you might have, but I suppose you are fully under his purview. But I went to see him. I have never seen something so suffocating in my life. It was as if all the life was drawn from anything I'd ever thought of in my life. All I could see was, well, the end of all.
It seems a bit poetic to me, to be honest.
Imagine the biggest graveyard, but corpses strewn everywhere for miles on end. That was the feeling.
Ooh. I can't wait until I plunge my axe into his head.
He does not have much of a head left. The form he has chosen is a husk. Terrifying, but a hollowness too. But in any event, you see, I have another kind of flick of the eyes, maybe my eyes.
Speak a bit more into your
Oh
microphone.
my goodness, sorry. He says, you see, I have a patron already, and by chance I have managed to end myself in another deal with consenting to it. But nonetheless, my soul has been claimed by this realm, and what's the Radalor, is it? Yeah.
Zadmirian.
Zadmirian. So, Naruzatar offered me a choice between some options that all sound rather droll. But he has me here for a reason, and I think that means more than he's willing to let on. So him, and then he said that, and then my devil patron kind of servant came along, and he demanded me back. They had a bit of an argument. They're now having a deliberation about what they're going to do, and I declined any offer they gave me. That is it.
Oh. So, Roxanne says after thinking a while. So why can't he just say no and just send the devil guy away?
I do not know. He looked slightly surprised that someone was able to enter his realm. I mean, I entered his realm rather oddly. I do not know how the rules work. I am not smart in that way. But he seemed rattled by his presence. So he could not just send him away.
What do you know about that place that you signed your contract away to?
1 second. I have a lore dump that I did read a few times. Where is it?
Because Roxanne sort of thinking about. I mean, I don't know really much about this stuff, but I had this thing before that there was two merchants in Port Dalron who were having a problem, right? They both had contracts which said different stuff. And because the law had a bit of a loophole, neither of them could put a claim in. So the person who had signed these two faulty contracts just got off. Maybe it's the same thing. Is there some sort of is there some sort of I don't know, God judge? Or just be like, hear your claim or something?
Is that? I mean, I could roll. I mean, I assume you'd know if it was like a Pentasta thing, but if this is like some kind of cosmic entity, like, can I do a religion check maybe?
You can do it. I'll just say you haven't heard of any of this before.
Okay, I have
Obviously, the inner workings of like
cosmic
beings is like so much higher level than most mortals ever.
His point. I do not know. I do not know. I'm willing to let this one play out. You see, I think, as far as I'm concerned, I'm already dead. So if I can go out by pissing off a few celestial beings, I'm. But I'm also conscious that. No, never mind. I will not say anything. But you would be glad that I do not tell you, because it might help you. I do not know if these hallways have ears, you know?
Well, if I knew this, I'd have signed like 100 million contracts with different fucking things.
Yeah, just don't tell them. Yeah, it's like yeah, like you're my you know, a special, you could become a special adventurer who specializes in having lots and lots of different contracts. Yeah. Um yeah, so I am going to sit here until I inevitably get drawn out in chains again in about I don't know how long it takes the devil in a ditch to argue things, but and I'm going to see what happens. I'm oddly not as terrified as I thought I would be. You see, I think because I have already faced death twice in one day now, it feels like I have little to fear, Roxon.
Well, I'll say this. If somehow you get out, get me out as well.
Mm. Mm, What do you have that would make me worth it? Make it worth it.
uh, uh, I can hit things really hard.
Now, that was me from a long time ago. You know? Fine. I do not need anything. It sounds like from the stories you have done this world a big service, and that is something that nature needs to pay it back with. Consider this my that you, if I can.
Can we consider this a contract?
I mean, I'm up for signing on the dotted line, but do you really want to sign on the dotted line with somebody who's made a deal with the devil?
The door slams open. You hear some footsteps coming across. You see Viridian again. He looks at you and says, "You have caused a real problem."
I know. I have a habit of doing that.
There is currently a discussion going on between my lord and your patron, representing Lady Selin. Now, unfortunately for you and for everyone, Lady Selin is pretty willing to go to war over this.
Well,
I don't know how you convinced her, but you will be punished.
I think it is punishment enough being here, no? Oh, and also I forgot to mention, I also made a deal with an archer. I think he has a
A deal with what? An archmage?
archfey. You know,
Archfey.
Iowa.
Make a deception check.
I'm gonna use my other legend point on this one.
Have you got a name we can contact?
38. Uh, um,
The Plano records don't suggest any other contracts.
I cannot recall his name. I met him in a bar once in Port Dalron. It was a very long time ago. Every now and again, I wake up with a prickly sensation on my legs, like barbs.
He looks really dejected and says, "Oh, for God's sake, I hate looking at the archives. I'll be there for like weeks." Well, you could make this really easy and just sign the paper.
I have no reason to sign a paper. You have done nothing but caused me misery for months and months and years. Allies that have fall prey to your machination. And these devils, they've also caused me problems. So unless you two can come together and give me time and like the pretty miserable compromises your master has given me thus far, I am going to sit in this cell and I am going to talk to my good friend over the rocks and enjoy my time.
Maybe we could get you better accommodation.
That sounds like a great start, but unfortunately, I need a talking companion, and my friend over there is very good. So he's coming to.
He looks over at Roxanne. Really?
Oh yes, really.
Oh, okay. He like shouts to a couple of scions and says, "Get them some rooms." He says, "The scions." One of the scions says to him, "Viridian, what kind of room?" And he says, "Just one of the nice ones, the guest quarters." And one scions are like, "But we don't have any housekeepers." It's like, "Oh, just resurrect some. It's fine." He says to you, "Null's not going to be happy with this."
I think Null has bigger problems to worry about right now than me. My living condition.
Listen, as your lawyer, I have to advise you, okay? If this goes to tribunal, you might be in a lot of trouble. You're playing with forces a lot greater than everything.
Well, as I said earlier to my friends here, as far as I'm concerned, I'm morally dead. So if I can go down, creating new legal precedent in the celestial courts of litigation, then quite frankly, a worth life lived, huh?
You think you're such a smartass, don't you?
Oh, I know I'm a smartass. It has got me in trouble many times, and it was always going to be death of me.
All right, well, at least you're not leaving here without this being settled. He walks up to you and taps on the shackles, and they disappear.
Ooh, that is better. Shakes his arms around.
If you follow the guards, they'll take you to your quarters, as well as
Excellent.
your friend. All right, so the scions walk you up a few flights of stairs to a quite nicely furnished room, with a big four-poster bed and some dusty old sheets on them. Seems that maybe someone hasn't stayed here for probably about a millennia, it seems, but it is more comfortable than that cell for sure. Um, in the same room, like behind a kind of like curtain, is like Roxanne's quarters as well. Sort of like stretches. Oh, a bed.
You said you've been here for many years. It took me an hour to get us both out. I say that's quite good.
We're not out yet. He like looks over at the window, realizes it is barred, and he sort of goes, "Oh, I'm still a prisoner then."
But think of the possibilities. We're on the upper. Wait.
All right, going back to the rest of the group. So we are waking up the next day and having sent the information to Cascus. You begin your journey over to the tower, following the row of people. Eventually, are you being particularly stealthy? Or, I mean, you are still disguised. So yeah, normal ghouls. Nothing suspicious about these people. Eventually, the road begins to sort of go up into the sky, and you realize that like the gate that you had seen with all the souls going into it is actually sort of quite high up. It's not on ground level. The walkway begins to ascend, and it's almost like the entire road has sort of raised out the sky. So you're going to have to join the queue of people. But you notice that obviously closest to the gate, instead of going through the gate, there's like a few entrances into the tower itself. So as the souls sort of pass through the gate, the actual tower itself is sort of behind it. Vance says, I guess we gotta join the queue. As you're sort of walking alongside them, they all look very focused. They're not really saying anything. They're not saying anything. They're not doing much. And Vance sort of like waves his hand in front of one of them and says, "What the hell is wrong with these souls? You shouldn't be like this." Nick says, Calcifer, you remember when what did Sikadan say, that your soul had like a marking on it or something? Yeah, he said that all of your souls had some sort of black mark put up on it. That it was it was as if you were corrupted somehow. Somehow Naruzatar must have done something. Maybe this is why the souls are just passively walking into here. Maybe these souls are just feeding his power. I don't even know what would happen if we did walk into it. Throwing a mortal into a soul sucking machine. Well, it would be a risk, that's for sure.
Oh no.
You still got that body, haven't you?
Oh, I forgot you'd had that.
Starting to smell a little bit.
Vance looks into the bag and is like, "Oh, yes, okay." It's a bit sadistic, really. Do you, so what? You just want to throw him into there? Well, at the very least, it might cause a distraction. We might have to sneak ourselves in. It could work, you know? Like, it's for souls, it's not for bodies. At the very least, it's going to cause some sort of distraction, I'm sure. Alright, so what's the plan then? When we get to the gate, they're going to... He points out over to the like a row of guards who are just sort of overseeing the whole thing. The second we break out of this queue and try and make a break for the main entrance, they're going to notice and we're going to fight our way through. So what we're going to do? Make a perception check. There's probably like there's a number there's a few watchtowers leading up to the the gate. So, and then there's like a main entrance into the actual tower itself, just off the side. So, probably about 20 guards, maybe, kind of overseeing. But like they're mostly high up. They're not like immediately right next to it. Like there's a couple. Yeah, they're Scions of Neruzatar, but they're not necessarily like they don't look like they're really that focused on what's going on. You know, it's probably quite boring, to be honest. Just overseeing a bunch of souls. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, you don't know. It's quite hard to tell. Like the one you had met before was pretty powerful, as far as you can tell. You're not sure if that's like the average scion. Yeah. He says, either way, we better get ourselves prepared. So what? When we get up to the gate, you throw it in, and we just try and sneak into the hug the wall, and then try and sneak into the door whilst. Nyx sort of like tries to talk to one of the ghosts. It's like, "Hello, can you hear me?" And one of the souls, just sort of says, "No." And she goes, "Oh, okay."
Yeah. Damn.
Vance whispers in your ear and says, "These are all people once. That's horrible. Ugh. You mortals, you cause so much trouble."
No, not really.
Well, it's the next day now, so. Well, can you not just do it again?
One.
Oh, oh, I see.
Mm.
Vance says, "Oh wait, why are we pretending to be ghouls when we could just pretend to be scions?" That probably would make more sense, right? He waves his hand, and suddenly you're clad in black armor, or like an apparition of black armor, about 2 foot taller. Maybe you're about the same height, Calcifer, but everyone else. Um, there you go. You look much better, and a lot more murdery. I'm sure they'll love you. I honestly, I think it will probably still cause a bit of a fuss. As long as they don't see you do it, I think it'll be fine. Cyan, I guess, awkwardly takes it and says, "I don't want a big corpse bag."
Oh my god, I've been muted this whole time.
Oh shit!
I was saying, wouldn't it be thank you.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be good to so we're using this as a distraction, so some of us are gonna Cyan puts the corpse in the grinder and we all go.
Well, hopefully, so that it like I guess draws the attention of like a bunch of them.
Yeah, and then we'll sneak past.
Yeah, I assume so.
Cool. Just checking.
All right. Well, we might as well let's just finish here for today because obviously I think it's almost 10 anyway. So, and then we'll get back to it next time. Well, thanks for playing.
Thank you for hosting. I thought you did really cool, really interesting job tonight, Mike, and you got to show Naruto for the first time. Woo!
Yeah. Only what 5 years or something since 5 years later.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
bit of trivia there for you.
and then he gets just completely
Embarrassed. No offense.
embarrassed. No, yeah, it's funny. All right, thanks for playing, and we'll see you next time. And this was part 2, I guess.